y'all, welcome back to Fortune Travels. Join me on my journey of healing through food, travel, and spirituality. On my last video, I talked about how I found a rental unit in Bali for about $200 a month. In this video, I'm gonna show y'all my total budget. The first thing I wanted to go over was the lodging. So like I said in the last video, I talked about how I found my lodging and how I worked out the price with the owners of the hotel / homestay that I was living at for a couple of days. This is honestly the best way to do it. You can go through Booking or Airbnb. Airbnb actually has a lot of discounts on longer term stays, but I feel like the best way to do it is just go directly to the owners of the homestay or even the hotel that you're looking at and just ask them, hey, what would be the monthly cost? See if there's some wiggle room too. Like obviously one of the biggest costs for maintaining like a hotel room is having it cleaned every day. Okay, so maybe not, you won't have it cleaned every day, but maybe you'll have it cleaned maybe once a week. But see if you can find some kind of way to negotiate a better price with your homestay or hotel owner. For transportation, the cheapest way to go about it is really just rent your own moto. All of the moto places are gonna have different prices varying on their location and honestly their owners at the end of the day. And the price is also gonna vary depending on how long you rent the moto for. Now, honestly, what I would do before you even get to Bali is I would book to have a moto before you get here, rent it out for the whole month. I think this is the best way to do it. It's not just the cheapest way, but I feel like it's also the most reliable way. You could hire a private driver, but honestly, it's probably the most frustrating way to travel around Bali because driving with a car is going to take you twice as long to get to a lot of places. Whereas if you drive with a moto, it will be a lot quicker and you'll have more control of where you can go. And if you're an explorer like me and you like to go to different places and just drive around, then the north you should be good and it's the perfect place to explore. People are so helpful up here. And honestly, Bali is a very, very safe island, especially in the north. In the south, in the more touristy area, it does tend to be a little bit more dangerous, so I'll be more cautious in those areas. For me, my transportation costs specifically, I rented a Honda Beat. I like this moto because it has 125 cc's. Honestly, in terms of gas mileage, it isn't my favorite. I do have to fill it up about every 4 hours of driving, which is kind of like not super convenient, but it's doable. But I rented this moto for about $1 million a month, which is gonna be about $60 for the month just to rent this moto, which is a pretty good price. Now, if you get a more nicer or bigger moto like the M-Max, which is what a lot of foreigners get, that one is gonna vary in range from 1.5 million to 2 million. And honestly, I think it's kind of worth it because it's a really good moto and the gas mileage is amazing on this one and it's just more comfortable too. So if you're not on a tight budget like I am, I definitely encourage you guys to rent out this moto. Now, if you're not comfortable riding a moto, that's totally okay. You can hire a driver or really just use the Grab app or InDriver or use Gojek. These can get you around to any place, even from Ubud all the way to Uluwatu, which is about a 1.5 to 2 hour drive. That was only 70,000 rupiah, which is about $5. So I think this is the best way of transportation here in Bali is through moto. Again, if you don't know how to do it or how to ride a moto, you can just hire a driver through one of the apps that I referenced earlier, or you can even take a bike lesson. If you know you're gonna be here for a month, just go ahead and take the moto lesson. And after you take the lesson, you can just practice. I will share the link with the moto instructor below for those of you who are interested. In terms of food, the obviously cheapest way to do it is to buy your own groceries and cook at home. This is like what I always recommend to people who are interested in budget travel and long-term travel. Just cook at home and maybe eat out a couple of times a week. No matter where you go, the street food is always going to be a lot cheaper than the restaurant. Now, that being said, if you can't cook or if you're not interested in cooking at home, you can always get street food that's really cheap out here in Bali, a lot cheaper than the restaurants. And by street food, I mean the warangs. These are more typical Balinese style eateries that you can go to and really get a good bang for your buck too. You get really full off of the food that they give you. That being said, when you do want to splurge, it's totally worth it. I've had some of the best food here in Bali at some of the restaurants that I've been to. Obviously, again, if you're in the Canggu Seminyak area, it's going to be more expensive than in Ubud. But Ubud has, oh my God, some of the best restaurants. One of my favorites is called Warang Ubud. They have the best mie goreng that I've had to date. in Bali, and they have a great smoothie bowl for only 30 rupiah, and it's one of my favorite places, and it's so delicious. So definitely check it out if you're in the Ubud area. So I try to stick to a budget of eating on about 50 rupiah a day because currently I am cooking and eating at home. So this is gonna be a little bit easier for me to manage. Honestly, I just bulk this all together and I spend about $20 a week on food. The last noted expense is activities. This includes things like going out, excursions, and tours. Since I've already lived in Bali for about 2 months, my budget is small with a range between 1 million to 1.5 million rupiah for activities. This includes money for gas because I often take excursions on my scooter looking for waterfalls, beaches, or hidden temples. So with $200 for rental, $60 for the transportation, $80 for food, and $100 for activities including gas, the total adds up to about $440 a month for living expenses here in Bali. So that's it for this week. If y'all want any more information on traveling through Bali, or if you would like me to make any more specific videos in the future, please comment them below and I would be more than happy to make them and more than happy to respond. Okay, I'll see y'all later. Peace.